Well, good afternoon. Thank you for taking time out of your day to come to this pretty impromptu ceremony. I'm Sergeant Pete Simpson with the Portland Police Bureau, and I have the pleasure of doing some introductions today. This is an opportunity for the U.S. Attorney's Office to recognize and honor the work of the Behavioral Health Unit. And without further ado, I'd like to turn it over to U.S. Attorney for Oregon, Billy Williams.
Thanks, Pete. Good afternoon. As Pete indicated, I'm the U.S. Attorney for the District of Oregon, and I just wanted to thank you for this opportunity to come and speak with you about the work that you've been doing, and also to show our appreciation for the BHU and the Advisory Committee and the work that you guys have been doing since, I believe, April of 2013. The way police respond to persons who are mentally ill or suffering a health crisis directly impacts our most vulnerable citizens and community safety. The BHU is the result of the efforts of many dedicated people. Would a few of you, in particular, Chief, if you would step forward, and Lieutenant Tasha Hager and Shannon Pullen, if you would come up and join me just for a few minutes. The Portland Police Bureau has shown tremendous leadership in stepping into the significant gap between the justice system and the behavioral health system to aid persons in crisis due to mental illness or drug and alcohol addiction. I would like to also commend the work of the Bureau of Emergency Communication, or as we know it, BOAC, for their continued work with DOJ regarding their critical role in public safety and improved call handling. Responding to individuals in a mental health crisis is a team effort, and each member of a first responder team, including the BOAC operators, are a team handling that initial response that's so critical to that mission. So I also want to thank the acting director, Lisa St. Helen, for the work of BOAC. The BHU and BHU Advisory Committee are a model for communities to aspire to. And I mean that literally, because you guys have set a model for the nation of how police departments can work with community groups to work on this very specialized part of our community that you respond to. And I know that it's been precedent setting in terms of the work that you've done, and you need to be recognized for it. As I mentioned, since April of 2013, police officers, mental health professionals, emergency dispatchers, and community members have worked together on the challenges presented by what we all know is a challenging mental health system, addressing issues as well as related to housing for individuals who need assistance. So that's why the work that you've done, the creation of the BHU, really sets you apart in terms of the work that you've done. I know that the Bureau has provided general training for all sworn officers in crisis intervention, BOEC crisis intervention training for all employees, and to you in BHU specifically, you've done this amazing work to pair mental health professionals from Project Respond and police officer in the BHU and team cars in each precinct. You've especially provided especially enhanced crisis training to officers deployed all over the city of Portland. These are highly risky situations for you when you respond, and you know that much better than I do. So I want to commend all of you and all of the Police Bureau, Chief Marshman. You guys know you take an oath. You're sworn officers to protect and serve our community every day. And you need to know that we support you in your efforts and all of the Bureau in the work that you all do. And thank you for that service. To the community partners who are members of the BHU response team, thank you. You obviously give of your time to serve on this committee, including Chair Pullen and the guidance that you provided. So thank you for your dedication and valued commitment to this mission and to the city of Portland. And Chief Marshman, thank you for your steady leadership during this process, and I want you to know you're a valued partner to the Department of Justice and the work that we're trying to do, not only with the settlement agreement over a period of time, but just in terms of the citizens that we all work to serve in one capacity or another. So thank you. I have a plaque to present. I have to tell a little joke here because it's dated April 2013 to January 2017, and the reason it's dated January of this year is because that's when we met as an office and originally decided we wanted to present this plaque, and then my schedule got in the way for about the last 4 months. So I'm glad it finally worked out, but I just want to present this to all of you, so thank you so much. Lieutenant, Chief, thank you. And if you'll hold that up, I just want to read to the group what it says. To Portland Police Bureau Behavioral Unit and members of the Behavioral Unit Advisory Committee, in recognition of your exemplary leadership, commitment, and determination in creating a model for coordinating responses by law enforcement and the behavioral health system to aid some of our most vulnerable community members, your partners at the U.S. Attorney's Office. So thank you so much for the work that you do. Thank you, guys.
So Tasha gave me the heads up that I might have to say something, so I pulled a few notes together because I'm not very good at off-the-cuffing it. So first of all, I just want to say thank you. I want to start from a place of gratitude. It's been a real honor to lead this group over the last 4 years. This committee has accomplished a lot, from helping to develop and review ECIT and BOAC trainings, to reviewing and providing countless recommendations on programs, policies, procedures, directives, survey questions, forms, you name it, we've looked at it. It's not always been glamorous work, but we have felt respected, we have felt heard, and we have felt like part of the team. So thank you. Along the way, we've celebrated graduations, birthdays, births, retirements, other transitions, and a lot of times we've had the chance to eat cake and pie. This is a special group that's really grown to care for one another. Relationships are so important to us that we've actually written it into our bylaws. But what I admire most about the people that I get to work with on this committee is that when they walk into the room, they bring such deep experience and knowledge. And some of that is from their professional hat and the professional world and their experience there, and some of that comes from a really deep personal place. So you might look at our roster and it might just look like one level of professional, but you also have this whole other side of people that they walk into the room and they bring their full selves to this work. And so they come in, and despite the fact that they have such deep knowledge, they come into the room with deep curiosity and a willingness to both listen and share. They want to learn what they don't know, and they want to fine-tune what they do know. Always, though, with the end goal of making recommendations that are informed, actionable, and readily accessible by the Bureau. Quite frankly, to me, it's what's made this committee so effective and why I continue to volunteer to lead this effort. I've been invited to a lot of meetings over the course of my career, and I've watched people talk at each other, and I'm sure you've all experienced this, without a willingness to be collaborative or creative or curious. That doesn't happen here. Our members are willing to share what they know, to engage in robust discussion, to disagree vehemently sometimes, and sometimes to be the only voice of dissent in the room. But we do that in a tone that's respectful and always with the desire to figure out a way to move forward. This isn't easy, and it's not the world we live in these days, where division and accusation and vilification is the norm. So I want to thank you, Behavioral Health Unit Advisory Committee members. Thank you to the Behavioral Health Unit and all of the Portland Police Bureau staff. Thank you to the DOJ. We haven't solved everything, and we have a lot of work to do. But thank you for showing up month after month and bringing the best of yourselves to this work. I have a few more thoughts. With the election of Sharon Myron as County Commissioner for District 1, in full disclosure, I ran her primary campaign. Mike Reese is our sheriff, Mike Marshman is our chief of police, and the opening of Unity Behavioral Health Hospital, I'm hopeful that even more collaboration is possible. Of course, we're facing serious budget challenges as a state, but as Sharon would say, we can take our limited resources and make the best decisions and the tough decisions. And one thing we do know is that the Portland Police Bureau is not an isolated system. In reality, we need to be holding every aspect of the mental health and behavioral health system accountable. When there's a bad interaction between law enforcement and someone in crisis or with a serious mental health issue, there were countless points along the way where the system failed. Not just the person in crisis, but the officers involved too. People like my brother Daniel, my brother Skate, two of the kindest, most wonderful people that I know and love. The system failed my brothers, and the result has been extreme trauma with devastating impacts to my family. That trauma was not inevitable. When people get the right treatment, at the right place, and the right time, they can and do get better. Recovery, however you define that for yourself, is not only possible, but should be expected. Which is why I'm very excited about the direction our committee is taking this year to look at the interaction between law enforcement and the community mental health system. This is a daunting task, but I know this group is up for the challenge. In closing, I just want to thank everyone again, and I look forward to the work in the year ahead. I'll be honest, I'm really going to miss this committee when my time is done, and I look forward to the next level of leadership who can take this group even further. Thank you.
So I didn't write any notes down. So I want to take a moment because I see a lot of faces out there that have done a lot to help build what we have in Portland today. And I'm sure I was introduced Lieutenant Hager, Portland Police Bureau, Behavioral Health Unit, but I've only been here for 2 years. So when I see people in the back like Bob McCormick, who started this unit from really nothing, it's amazing to me where we were and how far we've come. And I do believe, you know, that everything's a journey. That includes this. So there's more to come and more to do. But it is, I want to thank you for taking the time to stop for a moment and actually appreciate the progress that we have made. And I do think that where we're at is an amazing place to be. The Behavioral Health Unit Advisory Committee, I cannot thank you enough for being the committee I sat on for the last 2 years that helped me maintain some of my own personal sanity. So I really do appreciate that. The BHU, you guys do amazing work. Every day I'm amazed at the work that you do. And I know I have several ECIT officers in this room, and thank you for coming today because you are part of this unit, and you are an integral part of this unit. You're the biggest reason why we have gotten to the success we have, because from where I sit, you have changed the culture of what it's like to interact between police and somebody who's mentally ill on the street. You have changed that, and I can see it every time we have a new class, how much you are impacting your peers as they come through and what they're learning from you. So, so thank you for the work that you do. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to ramble on because I probably could. I've been known to. So that's right. So I will turn it over to the chief. Thank you.
Well, probably not surprising to this group, going last after these three, I have nothing to say. Because honestly, all my notes really reflected on that. But so I'll just go off the cuff, real brief, because I think all the salient points have been met. I cannot recall off the top of my head what year the CIT program started, 93 or 94? 92. So that was my second year working for the Portland Police Bureau. So it started a while ago. And I thought it was innovative and creative back then. And then, like was mentioned, 4 years ago, we have the birth of the Behavioral Health Unit. So some of my observations are, and I don't have the data to prove this, so you can quote me that I don't have the data. But I used to run some of the CERT operations, and I truly think, in the bottom of my heart, that some of the work that CIT officers, ECIT officers, and Behavioral Health Unit, and all the complex stuff you do, has truly reduced the amount of CERT calls in the city. Because I listen to the radio and I'm thinking any moment they're going to hit that CERT button and the big response is going to come, and it doesn't turn out that way. And I think that's a really good sign. I'm very pleased with everybody who's involved in the Behavioral Health Unit, inside and outside the organization. it's incredible when other agencies come to the Portland Police Bureau to learn what we do to try to mimic it. Shannon talked about Sheriff Reese. We're looking at expanding behavioral health countywide. Why not? You know, it's like back in 1992, we had the CIT program. Yeah, why didn't we think of that before? So I think this is just on the beginning cusp of how this works. I think behavioral health unit, I've put my DOJ hat back on again. You know, of all the reform efforts that the Police Bureau has done, to me, though we've done a lot, I think the behavioral health unit and all that goes with it, with BOIC, because BOIC's an integral part of having this be a success, is like a shining example. I call it the golden nugget of our many reform efforts for the city of Portland. So to have the Department of Justice, Mr. Williams, recognize this is huge. Didn't see it coming. Very, very grateful. But again, the effort goes to BHU and especially the Behavioral Health Unit Advisory Committee. I've been on a lot of advisory committees. Let's just say this one works very, very well. And they have a mission, they have goals, and they have a place where they'll never truly reach, because I don't think as a group they'll be ever satisfied in reaching the end state, because you can always do better. I think that's a good way to look at it. So super grateful. Thank you, Mr. Williams, Shannon, Tasha, and everybody else here. It's a good day, but I think this is chapter 1. We'll see what chapter 2 holds. So thanks for taking time to come today. Thank you very much.
I wanted to say a couple other things. Mary Claire, I'm going to dime both of us out on this. I moved to Portland in November of 1983 and went to work for the Public Defender's Office as a trial assistant. And one of the first lawyers I worked with was Mary Claire Buckley. We saw a different police bureau back then. And then fast forward to 1990, I was a baby DDA over in Multnomah County and trying cases not too long after with Bob. And was there for a decade before I went over to U.S. Attorney's Office 17 years ago. The Police Bureau has changed so much in those, I'm not going to do the math for us, but it's 30-some years, in so many ways, and for the better. And it's not just because of the settlement agreement, although I'm very appreciative of the settlement agreement and the great work that we've tried to do together to change the direction of the Bureau. But it's also just the culture of policing, the priorities, the interaction with community groups, and the importance of these kinds of changes that have come along the way. It's a completely different Bureau than what I remember when I was visiting with people who'd been charged with crimes in the jail visitation rooms in this building doing Mary Claire's work. And just, I think I've had a good bird's eye view of the change of the direction of policing in the city of Portland over that length of time. And this unit is a prime example of what can be done working together, in particular with a community advisory group. So again, congratulations. We're all really proud of you guys. Thanks.